Broad topics, broad minds, broad hosts, but not just for broads. This is Broadscast with Kim Goldman and Jackie McDougall.
Welcome. Good morning. So we always say our show is for broads and bros. And today it's literally my bro's in the studio trying to plug in his headphones.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Hi, Tim.
I got it.
Wearing his New England Patriots. I didn't even. It's
Don't you
preseason
dare say
in football,
New
and I'm sorry. I didn't even watch the preseason last night. What happened? Patriots and
I'm sorry,
Packers.
but watching preseason is like watching the Republican fiasco or debate thing. Like, until you are actually in the season and it matters, who cares?
Well, because my fantasy draft is going to be coming soon, so I got to pay attention to who I want to draft for my team. So I should be paying attention.
So I think Kim is throwing out the fact that she's in a fantasy draft for all you men listening. That she's that kind of girl.
I won last year. Could we talk about that?
Yeah, she totally
I won.
did,
I was the rookie team owner, and I won the whole thing. And I've been getting nasty messages. from my
You're
fellow
going
team
down
owners.
this year.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going down. So speaking of broads and bros, let's get into the show. This is Broadscast. Kim Goldman, Jackie McDougall. Hi, welcome. If you're just listening for the first time, stay here. You might like it. Okay, Jared Hill, our favorite bro podcaster, our brocaster. He's always, he's called in before, and he's got all the broad topics. What do you got for us today, Jarrett?
Well,
Good morning.
First of all, how are you guys doing this morning?
Doing fabulous.
Fabulous.
Fantastic. I'm glad to be back. So the story I really wanted to bring to you guys today was the way that the Megyn Kelly fallout at Fox News has happened after the Donald Trump fiasco at the debate. I don't know if anyone's heard, but Donald Trump is running for president. Have you heard about this?
Oh my God! Really?
It's a really underreported story, so I just want to make sure everyone's aware.
Breaking news.
Breaking. But yes, last week, obviously, at the debate, he made a lot of headlines in his responses to her questions on, his sexist comments. And then he's come out, saying a lot of terrible things about her. But the real story has become the way that Fox has embraced him and not her. In Salon.com, there's an article asking whether or not, feminists should be standing up for Megyn Kelly and whether or not it was okay for them to, kind of shun her and really, stand by him. And then most recently, in the last few hours, we've learned that Megyn Kelly is actually going on a unscheduled 10-day vacation effective immediately.
Are you using air quotes for vacation?
I was in my head.
Major air quotes. I'm using PR speak, all that good stuff. Like, she's going to be gone for 10 days. She's been receiving death threats and all kinds of things. So it's kind of interesting. And I'm curious, is Megyn Kelly going to become the new face of feminism, or is it?
Oh
kind of
my
ridiculous
God!
to
Please
think that?
help us all.
Right?
I mean,
My face is made for radio, but it's pretty disgusted right now.
Yeah. Seriously, the last person we need as our spokesperson, well, first of all, I don't even call myself a feminist. I believe that, when we've talked about this, that equal rights should happen for all, but as a woman, go and kick some butt, and
I don't personally like women speaking on behalf of me without having a discussion with me.
Right.
I mean, just in general, I don't like anybody speaking on behalf of me.
Specifically Megyn Kelly.
Well, Megyn Kelly had, sometimes I listen, I think, that's a good point. Other times I don't. Just like any other male journalist or any other female journalist. I don't really have an opinion about
and good for her. I mean, Donald Trump is a tool. Let's just put that out there. And so for Megyn Kelly to stand up for herself and to be in that and not back down, I do have appreciation for that. And so I think that the villain here is Fox News. But you know what? That's like saying, Cruella de Vil is not good with dogs.
That's right. I was going to say, that's like saying the sky is kind of blue,
yeah,
right?
I don't know why I just came up with Cruella. Clearly, I've been spending time with kids lately. But
I love juxtaposing Cruella de Vil and Megyn Kelly in the same sentence. I think that's wonderful.
But I just think Fox News is, come on. Is it really news? That's where we use the air quotes. Fox News.
But isn't Fox known for hiring just hot women to read the teleprompter? Isn't that like their...
Why have they not hired us?
I understand you guys have been taking meetings at Fox, but we're not going to talk about that.
But, isn't that sort of
only
like
the
their
local
MO?
Fox station because they're nice to us.
Yes, well, what I think is actually interesting about this situation is obviously, I'm a bleeding heart liberal who wants to drive a hybrid car, marry a man, and, save the earth. But, I look at the situation, and from that liberal perspective, I love that Donald Trump is getting all of this play because I actually think that he is going to do more and more damage to the conservative perspective and the conservative, platform, if you will, because now he's got Fox News kind of in his pocket and no one can say anything bad about him. And there's no good place for something like that to go, especially when your star anchor, Megyn Kelly, is now being attacked by him and the network's not standing by him. That's going to hurt them.
Do you think he's given them a ton of money to be on his side?
I don't know. Roger Ailes, the head over at Fox News, called him after a couple of days of this hubbub and, said, we're going to treat you fairly. But, there's no word on what he said to Megyn. And, all of them at Fox News have had to pull back their support for her and their shunning of him. And there's no good place for that to go. What happens when Trump drops out of the race and you still got all these fans of Megyn Kelly that watch her network and seemingly Megyn Kelly still. I don't know how that's going to go well for Fox or for the party or anything like that.
I'm a little disappointed that no one is talking about the softball wussy questions that the men posed during that debate. So there's Chris Wallace, and then I don't even know the other dude's name with the really bad spray job. He looked like he was panicked for that entire debate, and I thought, how come no one's going after the guys for being such wussies?
Well, I must say, I was impressed by some of the questions that did come out of there, especially those opening questions. A lot of them were kind of hard questions, and then I do feel like they kind of just glossed over some things, and it was frustrating to watch. Again, as a black man, I wanted to hear more about, how do we feel about Black Lives Matter? How do we feel about policing in America and criminal justice, since that's a huge thing right now? And, they did kind of softball some of those questions, or that specific question, they asked one question, and there was, one answer, and then they went to commercial break, and it was like, whoa, wait a minute, so Fox obviously gets to do whatever they want because they are Fox and because they are the official network of the Republican Party, but I think this is going to be bad for them in the long run.
Yeah, well, if I had to choose a side, I'd be Team Megyn, in all this, because Trump he's Trump, and I just, Fox News, it's all about the money. It's always all about the money when it comes to these news organizations, but not here at Broadscast.
I'm just disappointed that we always tend to turn our attention on things that are not as important as the big picture, and so now we're, all of Megyn Kelly's images of her posing provocatively. That's what everyone's talking about now, and how can she be a feminist if she is leaning over with her boobs hanging out a little bit. I'm like, well, why can't we celebrate that she's sexy? Why do women have to fall into a certain, I feel like we always lose sight because
you have to wear Birkenstocks if you're a feminist. Is that the rule?
Birkenstocks, turtlenecks, and headscarves, everything.
Isn't the whole point is that we should be able to be free and independent and go for what we want? So if you want to dress the way you dress, I don't care.
And let her just be a smart, sexy woman.
Exactly. And there was some feedback from people saying Megyn was on, the Howard Stern show a couple of years ago talking about her sex with her husband and her boobs or something. And it's okay, but is that a response to the way that Donald Trump has spoken about her?
Right.
Is that a response to the way that, Roger Ailes has kind of completely backed away from her? Let me be clear. I am no huge fan of Megyn Kelly. I think she said a lot of things that were really, really, ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like this is a situation where this woman is really kind of getting an unfair shake because, they want to follow the money. They want to follow the ratings. And right now, that's Donald Trump.
Right.
Well, and I also feel like, so what if she talked about sex before? So what if she was on the Howard Stern show? That doesn't eliminate the ability for her to be smart and, controversial.
You're only supposed to be one-sided as a woman?
Well,
you're not supposed to be multifaceted.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that, but men too. You would never hear someone going after a man or Chris Wallace if you were ever to mention something sexual. No one would come back and remind us of that. I find that to be such a double standard.
Yeah. All right.
I'm disappointed,
well, Jarrett, we have to go, but tell us where to find you. Tell us where we can find you.
You can find me all over social media at Jared Hill. That's Jarrett with 2 R's and 2 T's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I'm always saying something, so you can find me online.
All right. Well, thank you as always for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Of course, ladies. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, so there's so many topics today, and it's all broad topics.
Yeah.
All broad topics. So we're going to talk about Target coming up and their big thing, and we're going to talk to a fabulous couple where she wears the pants, or does she wear the pants? I don't know. That's actually a thing. But
what? She wears the pants?
No,
or
the
not?
wearing the pants thing. But you had texted me lots of fabulous topics that you were totally into.
There was one thing that came up. I saw someone got their phone. They had a phone number that was somebody else's, and when they reset their phone, like all these crazy booty call texts came in, like all these pictures were sent to them, like, hey baby, I'm in town. And I sort of feel like I would play with that. I'd get myself in trouble because I'm too much of
So the person had a new phone number that existed to somebody high profile in the past.
Yeah, because it said something about their tour being in town or something,
right,
and you want to meet for a rendezvous.
Yeah.
What would you do?
I would have lived her life, his or her life, I think, maybe. I don't know.
You would have just played along.
I would have become Monica Geller. Do you remember that Friends episode?
I was like, what?
Where that woman stole her identity.
Oh,
so she became Manana.
Right. I do remember that. I do remember that. I think I would. I think I'd be too much of a chicken to play along.
Yeah.
I think I would for like one or two texts, and then I think I would. I thought it was hilarious that all of a sudden, one of the comments in that article was that they got sent like a very risque photo.
Right.
That if anyone found it, that they would have to be registered as a sex offender. Oh, that's pretty funny. Not that the sex offender part, but the fact that people were sending pictures and that they were.
Oh.
All right, I'm getting myself into some trouble.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Hey, so an airline wants to weigh passengers.
Yeah.
We should talk about that when we come back, or later in the show, or something.
Okay, don't forget.
You don't forget.
You don't forget. All right, we'll be right back.
You're
after
listening
this
to
break.
Broadscast. Why should you become a Broadscast sponsor? Broad multimedia exposure, including radio, web, iTunes, YouTube, and social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
A quick, easy way to reach your target demo, women. Exclusive, limited time only, affordable introductory rates.
Plus 20 years experience in on-air and online marketing. We produce your one-of-a-kind creative in-house, saving you time and money.
For more on becoming a Broadscast sponsor, visit broadscast.com today.
You're listening to Broadscast with Kim Goldman and Jackie McDougall. Two broads with faces made for radio.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me on today's show. I appreciate being here.
You should come every week.
I should. I kind of like it.
All right.
So joining us for this next couple minutes, we have an old friend of mine who the world knows her as Kiki Buckley, but I only know her as Christine Buckley. So, hi, Kiki.
Hi.
Hi.
Kim actually goes into seizures when she tries to say Kiki.
I can't call you Kiki. I've known you as Christine. It's like
I can't inflexible.
I go by both, so you can call me whichever you want, Kim.
I know.
Kim is so inflexible, Kiki. So inflexible.
It doesn't roll off my tongue. But okay, so Kiki, I'm going to try it. But I'm going to try not to say it with like that Kiki. So my friend Christine Buckley, we've had Christine on our show way back when
in 2009, I think it was.
So we had you on, Christine, because you took off on a whirlwind tour of the Americas, and you and Yoda, your dog, you jumped in your Prius. And you went for a journey across the country, and you wrote about it, and you have a blog on Huffington Post and on SeekingShama.com. And you left Hollywood. You were this big senior executive, big huge production company, which we won't talk about. You're a trained yoga instructor. You went to law school. I mean, you're like this big to-do, this big hotsy-totsy woman in charge of her life. And so we thought it'd be fun to have you talk about roles and relationships. Because see that segue? Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, because
that was an awesome segue.
Did you like that?
Because there's a whole thing where like people were surveyed whether they wear the pants in the relationship, and
you came to mind because you have a relationship with a famous musician. I don't want you're free to share with us if you want. That's up to you. I don't want to ruin your private moments, but. And I just wonder how the two of you work together. You produced a documentary called Moldy, the movie about toxic mold.
Don't bury the lead. Who wears the pants in your relationship, Kiki?
I can honestly say in this particular relationship, it's very mutual, and that's a big thing to say because I'm a strong woman and I can tend to get bossy at times, which is not one of my finer personality traits. And he really brings out a softer side of me, both in business and in the personal side, which I think is why he's a perfect partner for me. in both.
But when you guys first started dating, I mean, you and I, we've been friends for a long time. We've been single together for a long time. And one of the things that we always talked about was how men kind of shied away from us because we were strong and independent and in control of our lives, and how off-putting. I still call it, and I think I can say it, a penis repellent, having some of those qualities, because it's hard for men to be comfortable being around.
You made me cough. That's how hard that was funny.
Feel like that.
Oh my God, that was good.
I mean, you're right. It's something I definitely have struggled with. You've struggled with. We've analyzed it to death. And one really nice thing about my partner now is, I mean, we met through work, and so that dynamic was already there. So he was used to me in a work setting. But he's older than me, and he's very secure in who he is, and I think he isn't intimidated. And it takes a really strong man, I think, to not get intimidated.
Or a rock star.
Right.
Kind of helps.
Yeah, you're not sharing, are you?
Well, okay. He is in a band called The Orchestra, featuring members of ELO and ELO Part 2. He joined the band when they were ELO Part 2, and he's recorded with everyone from John Lennon and Bonnie Tyler and Billy Joel and
oh my God, I just want to sing all of these.
On. So he's very accomplished.
Which is so funny that we have you on our telephone line. All right, sorry. I won't go there.
But did you find it when you guys first got together? I mean, I know you said that you met in a professional setting, but how did you learn how to work together when you guys got together intimately, but then to translate that into another relationship when you guys started producing and doing documentaries together?
Well, the transition was really easy. I mean, our first documentary that we started making together was about music, and it was actually about, and we're still working on it, this group of musicians that I found on the road trip that you mentioned, and they're in the middle of the Arizona desert, and because it was music related, and Eric also is into producing independent films, we thought, well, we should do this together. And so we started working together, and we realized that our personality traits and skill sets are almost like a zipper. It's kind of how I've always looked at it, like they perfectly integrate and don't really overlap. And I think that's why it works so well together, and why we're able to make it work is, we're each stronger in different areas. And, if something that I'm strong in, for instance, like negotiating a mean contract, which is not my favorite thing to do, but it's something absolutely I would never let him do, that falls into my bailiwick.
Wait. Why wouldn't you let him do it?
He's an artist. He's like, okay, take whatever you want. He's just really
he's soft. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
He's soft.
Yes, sometimes. Okay. Yeah.
So you guys worked together. You kind of began both of them at the same time, the relationship and the working?
We did. And I think it's a unique thing. I can't say that any other relationship of mine that I would have been able to work with them. With him, it just both started at the same time, and we both enjoy work, and so it carries over into our personal life, and that's one thing we do struggle with. Not really struggle. We're careful about is we have to have plenty of us time. Like a lot of conversations, we'll be talking personally, and then immediately it'll just segue into business. It's like, oops, wait, we shouldn't go there right now.
Does it also help that you? Okay, I'm getting the sign that we have to go to break.
But when we come back, I want to talk about your latest project, because I think it's really, really important that you share a little bit of information about that.
Okay, stay on the line, awesome. Kiki. Okay. Kiki, we'll be right back on Broadscast.
When Broadscast was looking to relaunch our website, we knew exactly who to call, the team at Stark Social Media. At Stark Social, they understand the importance of a strong online presence. From marketing and branding, web design, and social media, the in-house team listens to their clients' needs and budget and responds with a tailor-made plan for your small business, nonprofit, or startup. Stark Social's philosophy is simple: do good work, and they live by that philosophy every day. Stand out from the competition and contact Stark Social Media today at starksocial.com.
You're listening to Broadscast with Kim Goldman and Jackie McDougall. They're huge in anywhere other than somewhere that you've been before.
They don't get
Welcome
old.
back. I love our VO guy.
So during the break, I was chastised by the room here, Kiki, because I'm not calling you Kiki, and I should be more embracing of your identity. So I'm going to make a concerted effort to embrace this.
I gave her crap, Kiki.
Yes,
I gave her crap.
Thank you, Jackie.
Well, because, that's my nickname from my childhood is Quee. My husband even has a tattoo on his arm that says Quee.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yes.
Okay. So it's the Kiki and Quee hour.
Nice. Queekie. Together.
Well, speaking of Queekies, so Kiki, I'm curious that, and then we're gonna move on to Moldy, the movie about toxic mold. These are terrible segues. But speaking of Queekies, so you and your partner do not live in Eric do not live in the same state. Do you think that helps the roles and how you guys
not for Queekies?
That's what I'm saying. That was why that segue was funny. Do you think that helps the roles and how you guys, the parts that you play and who does what?
Well, the nice thing about both of us, I mean, he travels a ton. He's on tour constantly. I also travel a lot. We both have travel in our blood, and we travel a lot for all the projects that we're working on together. And so our relationship a lot of the time is on the road, and we're often in different time zones. And it works for us, but I think it only works for us because we both have travel in our blood. I don't know if it will forever work with us. We may at one point want to cohabitate, but for now it's definitely, it's fine. I'm independent enough that I don't need to have my man with me 24/7.
Right. But even if you do live together, you travel so much that you probably see each other just as much.
I think you're right. Yeah,
right.
I don't think it would change much.
So let's talk about your latest project.
Okay, so Moldy, the movie. So
which sounds so cute. Like there should be a little mascot.
There is.
I'm Moldy.
Yeah.
It would be a mold spore.
Yeah, nice. So how did this come about?
Well, we made a documentary about the health effects of environmental mold, like toxic mold, with a company called Bulletproof, which is like the founder of Bulletproof Coffee, and they have one of the top health and fitness podcasts on iTunes. And this is their first documentary, and Eric and I produced and directed it together. And it sounds so not sexy and glamorous like the movies I used to make in Hollywood, but I really do think it was the most important movie I've ever made.
Wow.
Because I think we can help a lot of people. And it came out in June, and there are a lot of health issues that can be caused by mold growing in your house, and people have no idea. It's just not on their radar.
What's something that's really shocked you about, that you discovered while doing this documentary?
I think the vast amount of symptoms that can be caused by mold, like I had no idea. I thought maybe you wheeze or, you have allergies, but I mean, it can be neurological, it can be psychological, it can be weight gain. I mean, the list.
I must have mold in my house. Otherwise, I'd be 110.
It's a multi-symptomatic and multi-system disease when you're sick from mold.
Wow.
And really the only way to get better is to get out of the mold and to get rid of all of your belongings that were exposed to the mold.
So how do you find, okay, so this is just silly. When I moved into a new office last year, I started getting these really horrible headaches. I turned off all the lights in the office. I was changing my glasses. I was really miserable coming into the office, and someone said, I went to the doctor, and they said, have you checked for mold? That was the very first thing that she said to me. So is it more commonplace now to suggest that as a source of medical issues?
I hope so. I think we have a long way to go before mainstream medicine really embraces it. But more and more doctors are realizing how ubiquitous mold is and how sick it can make people. And, one big symptom is you go into a building and you're consistently sick or you consistently have headaches or whatever, and then when you leave, you feel better. Well, maybe you should look at something in the building, something environmental, whether it's mold or something else.
So throughout the process of doing the movie, were you, because true confession, I watched the trailer. Sorry, Kiki.
No.
Baby steps for Kim, clearly.
Were you able, I watched a lot of it, and I knew what you were doing when you were going through the process. So, but from an insurance perspective, were insurance companies, how did they react to you're kind of pulling the veil back on this issue? Are they helpful? Are they supportive? Are they resistant to people claiming mold?
Well, we kind of stayed away from the insurance issue. We had 1 hour to make a movie, and we thought, well, let's just focus on the health issues. The whole legal and insurance side is a whole nother political movie that has to be made.
Right.
But it wasn't something we wanted to really dive into because you start small. You get people realizing this is a problem, and then you tackle the bigger issues. And we just really want people to know that if you're chronically ill, mold could possibly be the problem. And it's worth looking at.
Well, where can people find Moldy?
They can go to moldymovie.com.
Okay, moldymovie.com.
And then also on your seekingshama.com website, right? You're on there?
Yes.
It's on there?
Yes, I would love it if they go there.
I think it's really important. And we'll also provide links on broadscast.com so people can find it and watch it. And because I think it's really important. And right now, I think we live in this state of false security, like the buildings are newer and so there, I had a leak in my house for a while and we didn't know, and now that you're saying this, even, I have a son with asthma who the asthma has been controlled since we moved out of that. Well, we fixed it and then we moved out of the house, but it's been controlled for the past few years since then. And it's just fascinating.
Well, the other thing too, though, is that the documentary is not, there's no agenda other than to educate.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You're not selling anything. You're not, bringing anybody down. You're just educating, and I think that's fantastic. Kiki Buckley,
thank you
so much.
At Seeking Shama on Twitter. You go follow Kiki. She's got really interesting stuff she puts on there.
And call her Kiki, never Christine. Thank you. Well, and we will be right back, Peter. We're going to break.
All right, we're going to break.
Give us a call, 661-298-5487.
Today's broadcast is sponsored in part by Gerard Cosmetics, a cosmetics line created for women by women who empower each other and strive to offer products that are luxurious, accessible, and endlessly chic. For a limited time, get an exclusive 30% off site-wide. Visit GerardCosmetics.com/shop and enter promo code Broadscast and follow at Gerard Cosmetics on Twitter.
And Whitening Lightning, a staple for Hollywood celebs and top YouTube influencers. Whitening Lightning's famous Dial-A-Smile kit is recognized all around the world as the best way to whiten your teeth in just 20 minutes. For an exclusive 30% off site-wide, go to whiteninglightning.com/shop and enter promo code Broadscast. Gerard Cosmetics and Whitening Lightning. Easy, quick ways to boost your beauty and confidence.
You're listening to Broadscast with Kim Goldman and Sweet Little Jackie.
Hi.
Welcome back.
I'm still
Me,
saying,
Sweet Little Jackie.
So, do we need to leave the headphones on when it's just us in here?
Oh, I guess we don't. But yeah, but if we get a call or something. All right, so we're bringing Tatiana and Tim into the conversation. So Target has announced that they are no longer going to label the toys and bedding, things like that, as boys and girls. They just their comment was that they don't feel that in today's shopper is not necessarily looking. They're not the same as they were 5 or 10 years ago. And why do we have to say if somebody wants a Star Wars bedding that it's boys? Like, this clearly doesn't apply to clothes because different bodies, different shapes, things like that. So they don't feel that they need to change that. But Tatiana, what do you got? What do you think?
Well, as a child, I would play with boy and girls' toys.
Right.
So I actually think that that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, yeah, children, they just like toys. They're going to play with anything that's in front of them. Why do you have to, like, box them in to one category? Like, girls can only play with Barbies and boys can only play with Star Wars figurines.
Right, right. Tim?
No, I totally agree. But the second word in your intro there was announced. Target announced. That's the biggest problem, right? Everyone wants to be politically correct, but now they're looking for kudos or because they're doing this. If they didn't announce it and they just did it, I would guarantee 90% of the people wouldn't even notice the difference. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, didn't it come from a woman that she tweeted a picture? Right, so she tweeted a picture of girls' bedding sets and said, "Don't do this, Target," and that became like went viral and became this huge firestorm. So do you think Target was maybe saying they're announcing as a result, like in response to, because maybe that's a way of saying we hear you.
In response to our customers.
Yeah, in response to our customers.
That's certainly very possible. I didn't see that tweet there, but
yeah.
Being a single dad, if I go,
unavailable.
Look, you're only talking three different subjects here. You're talking entertainment, toys, and bedding.
Right.
If I go to Target to buy any of those three items for my kids, I don't need a sign to tell me which ones my kids like. I already know what they like.
Right.
And I bring up the single dad because we're the stupidest people out there, right? We need signs for everything. We need to be directed everywhere we go. But I know exactly what they want. Whether you can put the G.I. Joe stuff in the girls section, I'm still going to go there and get it.
But I got to tell you, as a woman, I kind of appreciate being told where to go too. Like when I walk into a store and someone said boys this way, I'm like, and I'm going for boys stuff. It doesn't faze me one way.
If it says action figures, that's not going to trigger the same.
But listen, in my brain, okay. If I'm going to be buying a gift for a girl, chances are I'm going to go to the girlier section unless I know that particular girl likes things that are less girly. I'm sorry. That's just, I can't help that. And I would assume that if someone's going to be buying a gift for me, that they wouldn't go to the power tool section unless they knew that was something that was important to me. So I don't personally think that there's that big of a deal with sort of specifying one gender or another. I don't think it has to be polarizing. I don't think it has to say anything negative about another gender. I think if you're looking for something negative, you're going to find it. Well, to me, seeing boys section versus girls section, whatever.
But we also, look at this room. Like, we are educated, smart, open-minded for the most part people. And so, like, Tim, your son has had purple hair, and then it turned pink, and he kept his pink hair, and you didn't give him crap. But there are a lot of dads out there that would, ridicule him or let him know that that's for girls and for, so there are a lot of people kids who are walking on eggshells, not, wanting certain things, and it's labeled a certain way. And so if we can just strip some of the labels off and let kids be kids and like what they like. My own daughter will say, I like boy things. I'm like, you don't really like boy things. You like Lucy things.
Right.
You like stuff that you like. And so it's not, we don't always have to be politically correct, and it's not like they're taking it off the clothes or whatever, but why,
do you think
why
that's
not
the next,
be
but
open?
Because totally open. But I do think that we're so quick to always react and think that everybody's going to be offended that I also just feel like not everything is all that always that offensive.
But we don't have to be offended. We can actually respond before, like, without it being offense. You know?
Right. But don't you think that the move towards removing the gender identity as it relates to toys and those things, it's going to move to. They took it off the bedding. They're going to, and I just feel like it's going to move to everything, which. Again, I don't personally. You don't think that you don't think so? Why wouldn't it?
Because we also have different body types, and
clothing fits differently.
Yeah,
and, we do have. That's.
Yeah, but
I don't think they'll change that.
Yeah, but did you hear the guy? Did you hear about the guy who posed as Target on Facebook and then trolls haters? So like, this was like ask for help. And then he used the Target bullet. This is on adweek.com. And he said, Kevin, there's no, in response to this guy's comment, he says, Kevin, there's no real nice way to put this. So we at Target will just say it. You're a real Richard. And the nickname. But I love that he posed as Target and just responded to some of these trolls online. So it's hilarious.
The biggest problem is that those who are offended are the loudest people out there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's
which is probably a very small percentage of the actual population.
Right.
But they're louder than the rest of us.
Well, and of course, and listen, it speaks to the power of the internet and the power of social media, and that big companies do listen to their quote target audience. But I did you like that?
Yeah, good.
I could have just let that one go, but I had to point out how funny I was.
Yeah.
But I do just in some way, I just feel like enough already. I'm kind of bored sometimes with always having to follow very specific rules.
But there's no rule here. Yeah.
But I just think it's a slippery slope, and I'm totally supportive of whatever you choose and go down whatever path is important to you. But I just sort of feel like in some ways, like enough already.
Can we go to break on something funny though?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but this guy, ask for help guy, I love him so much. This Lisa Marie wrote on Target, "I'm extremely outraged at your stupidity for doing away with gender separation at your stores. I just want you to know if it means making 20% of your customers happy to loose the other 80%, you just did it. I wish I had known this before I went shopping this weekend. Thank God I haven't bought school clothes yet for my kids. You lost my business." And then this guy posing as Target says, "Lisa, you sound like you need a Snickers. We sell them by the packs here at Target. Stop on down and buy some." Sorry, but I love this guy. We got to go to break. More broad topics when we come back. 661-298-5487.
Why should you become a Broadscast sponsor? Broad multimedia exposure, including radio, web, iTunes, YouTube, and social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
A quick, easy way to reach your target demo, women. Exclusive, limited time only, affordable introductory rates.
Plus, 20 years experience in on-air and online marketing. We produce your one-of-a-kind creative in-house, saving you time and money.
For more on becoming a Broadscast sponsor, visit broadscast.com today.
You're listening to Broadscast with Kim Goldman and Jackie McDougall. The most riveting hour of anything you've ever heard.
Hi, so welcome. Hi. We are back from break. We're back. You're joining us on Broadscast with myself, Kim Goldman.
She likes to talk to herself about herself.
I need a nickname.
And me, Jackie McDougall. Hi.
Quee.
So, all right, so let's Quee McDougall. So let's get some broad topics here. And Tim and Tatiana, you got to weigh in. Yay or nay? All right, everyone. An airline begins weighing passengers for safety. So along with your luggage, they want to know how many pounds, well, probably kilos or whatever the hell it is elsewhere. Sorry.
Nay.
Nay. Tim?
I have no problem with it as long as it's not displayed for the rest of the people in the line to witness.
So
Kim's like, yay! I want everyone to weigh me.
Really? Right. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. I didn't even speak. No, I'm curious. What do they do with that information? A, I can't just move right past this one. Okay. What do they do with that information? A, and B, what happens if you weigh too much? Like, what do you have to buy 2 seats? You're not allowed on the plane. Like, do anybody?
I think they're just looking for a total weight on the plane. I don't.
Yes.
They probably don't even keep the data. This is just assuming, but I would assume that they wouldn't keep the data. They just add up the total.
Right. Well, of course they couldn't, because I'll be up another 10 pounds before I fly.
So what happens?
Again.
You purchase your ticket, and then you show up to get on the plane, and you're like, wah, and you like.
Well, they're saying that FAA guidelines on aircraft weight and balance control set individual passenger weight at averages of 190 to 195, and 82 pounds that's for adults, and 82 pounds for kids, depending on whether it's summer or winter. Oh, because they wear heavier clothing. Although, don't we all?
But it also has to do, I'm sure, with the weather and
where you're flying to and from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, they also talk about some. It's been a topic before of like pay what you weigh type of thing. Like, if you weigh more, should you have to pay more?
But in that same vein, though, if it's about balance, I mean, shouldn't they know? I mean, are they going to then dictate where people sit on a plane based on your weight? Like, you don't want to be too top heavy because.
They do that on the smaller planes. They do that. They maneuver people around.
Right.
To spread the weight evenly.
And don't you think that people are going to be upset about that when they get moved from where they want to sit, and that someone's going to say, "Are you moving me because of my weight?"
Well, you know what? If you're moving me because of my weight so the plane doesn't crash, cool.
Exactly. I'd be a little more upset if they were picking my carcass off the ground.
Right? And you may as well add 5 pounds because I'm going to have a couple drinks on here, and I always retain water after a couple of vodkas.
Yeah, do they take into account fluctuation and I don't know. I feel like the airport's already violating us now that we have to get scanned and everyone can see through us and stuff.
Well, what happens if you go on? Okay, so this happens to me. When I go on a trip, my suitcase weighs 48 pounds, right? Let's use that as a number. On my way back, putting nothing new in my suitcase, it weighs 56 pounds. I don't know how that happens. So what happens when we as an individual go on vacation at one weight and you come back at a different weight and now you're too much?
Yeah, but you don't come back at 50 pounds heavier.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, please, as if you've ever come back heavier. Anyway,
what is this?
So,
how much are you going to gain in a week?
I don't know. I just think that phenomenon is
like a challenge.
15.
So, Oh, did you hear? So I guess if you want to be a movie star.
Did you say what you thought about the weight?
Yeah, I mean,
you just don't want it publicized.
No.
Is that what you said?
No, that was my brother. We're not the same person, Kim.
God, no.
It's just because I look like him with red hair and breasts. I don't think it's necessary because I think it works out ultimately on a big plane. If you're on a smaller plane and that's what you need to do, fine. But I just don't think that on a jet that this really should be an issue. I mean, how many people are you going to have over 400 pounds?
Well, when they say that it's a safety issue, but it's taken how many years to
and
determine that it's a safety issue?
And yet, Uzbekistan has, I don't know that they have is that how you say it?
I just wanted to hear you say it. I was really hoping that.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah, there you go.
But I don't think that they're known for like all their crashing every other week. So I think they've been doing all right.
Yeah.
So let's just continue on, whatever they're doing. So I guess if you want to be a movie star, you have to be white, straight, and male. Because research from USC found the top 100 movies last year, 73% of all characters were white, and only 17 of those movies had a leading or co-leading actor who was a minority.
Right. Didn't this come up when the Oscars?
Oh, the Oscars?
Right.
Well,
people were
certainly the nominations, but I mean, this is even just like what's out there. Only 19 characters out of the top 100 movies were gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Although, isn't that 20%?
Oh, we're doing math? I can't do math this
No,
morning.
but I mean, that would be 19 out of 100. Yeah. It would be 100 movies, so 19 so that would be 19%.
Yeah.
So, which I think, what do they say, that they're, 10% of the population are gay? I don't know. What is that? Anyway, I wonder if that's actually true to life there. But anyway, none of them were transgender. Only 30% of speaking roles or named characters in those movies were women.
Well, that's a known thing, though. I mean, that's they've been saying that forever.
Peter's telling us to go to break.
I don't know. Can I just last before we go to break? I don't pay attention. Am I living in the dark? I go to a movie to watch a movie. If it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad regardless of who I just don't. I don't focus on white, black.
That's because you're white.
I don't see the world that way.
I agree with you 100%.
Because you're also, look, Tim, you're a white, straight male. Why would you see anything else?
But I'm a woman, and
I like to see women in movies.
But I'm a strong woman. I don't get upset because I don't see more women. I don't see it that way. And I'm a woman, and I'm part of that minority.
I think there needs to be more diversity.
I agree. That that's with our generations, and Peter's going to yell at us, but with every generation, let's just show more diversity. Let's educate without having to pull our kids aside. I'm sorry, Peter, I know, but Tim had gay neighbors, and I think that your kids thought they were brothers. If we see more, right? Didn't they, across the street or something?
No, I think we told them right off.
But if people see more in their movies, and there are fewer. Sit down and have the talk about diversity. I say we do more diversity. Got to go to break. We'll be right back.
When Broadscast was looking to relaunch our website, we knew exactly who to call, the team at Stark Social Media.
At Stark Social, they understand the importance of a strong online presence.
From marketing and branding, web design, and social media, the in-house team listens to their clients' needs and budget and responds with a tailor-made plan for your small business, nonprofit, or startup.
Stark Social's philosophy is simple: do good work, and they live by that philosophy every day.
Stand out from the competition and contact Stark Social Media today at starksocial.com.
You're listening to Broadscast with Kim Goldman and Jackie McDougall, the most riveting hour of radio ever.
Welcome back to the riveting hour of a radio show.
Yeah, so we're still here, and we are counting down. I feel like I'm Dick Clark on the New Year's Eve. We're very clear on the clock.
Should we kiss at the end?
No.
So, all right, we have to be out at 59:50. We got this, Peter. All right, so let's talk about the next couple of weeks. Next week, be your own health advocate. We are talking to Marie Walker Riddle, who is an amazing social media influencer, business owner, and she's also has cancer, and she has changed the face of inflammatory breast cancer. And we also have an expert on who will talk about taking control of your own health.
Right. And we also have Patty Stanger from Bravo's Millionaire Matchmaker.
Yes. I wish you were here today because you're single, my brother's single.
I'd go for a $500,000.
Yeah. She'll be joining us at the end of the month to talk about her show and about dating and relationships and divorce and how to date in this new age of internet world connecting
of texting.
People. And and we also have Robin Sachs. She's going to be a legal analyst. She's going to take all of our legal questions. Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Free legal advice. Thank you so much for listening to Broadscast. Head over to broadscast.com, Facebook, Twitter. We love you. Take care.